Hello, Brent here is here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this video. Welcome to my living room, for that matter. Stoked to have you here. Today I'm going to be offering a lesson that has occurred to me very recently. It is, I suppose, the deepest version that I've ever come across in the study of mindfulness and the study of awakening, the study of enlightenment as well. If you are unfamiliar with this concept of enlightenment, if it's something you've heard of, it is something that a lot of people have explained in many different ways. And it's often put on a pedestal as perhaps the highest possible spiritual achievement. And one which, because it's put on that pedestal, a lot of spiritual teachers say that it becomes impossible or like a superhuman achievement because of how it's kind of spoken about. What I want to offer you is a new approach to enlightenment that has occurred to me that has allowed me to shovel out a whole new level of stress that's been in my life. So if you don't know me, I have been stressed out and anxious for most of my life. So much so that I didn't even actually realize that I was an anxious guy until maybe a couple years ago even. Just because all of my waking moments were stressful moments. I was just constantly, I would have this really intense energy, this intense, painful energy in my system that always felt like it was trying to get out and always felt like it was being triggered. In addition to that, I'm also realizing that that it's actually other people's intensity as well that I've been picking up on. And if you are a person who has been stressed out or anxious, it's actually a really cool area of study to see if you can discern between how much of this stress that you feel is your own self-generated stress and how much of it is just stress that comes from other people or is caused by other people. One way of being able to discern is to take a moment with your eyes closed and feel into the stress, ideally finding a location in your body where it's centralized. There usually tends to be a nucleus, quite often in the chest area, but also in the throat, the head, and in other areas of the body. And to look at that, and I think one way of being able to differentiate is if the stress is too intense to even look at, and if it's like fear and it's like, oh no, I can't look at this, and instead you are going into your head about things, about past and future, things that should not have happened, or how the present should not be how it is, or all these scary things that might come in the future, that you just don't even, like, you can't even bear to like think about them. That would be a good sign that the stress is self-generated. If the stress is really sort of intense and unpleasant, but it doesn't move, or it doesn't alter it too much if when you cast your gaze on it internally, that would be a way of knowing that it's somebody else's, that it's just something that you've internalized or copied from somebody else. It's like you're mimicking somebody else's energy patterns. And a really cool way to get rid of either. I didn't even actually anticipate getting into this, but we're into it now, and it's pretty good stuff. So if it's self-generated stress, typically the best way to release it and heal it is to bring your attention to it, tune in, and really gaze at it in a steadfast way, which is not pushing or pulling, not flinching, not affecting or judging or trying to fix or change, just looking and watching as it unfolds and moves within your awareness. And it should happen usually quite quickly. And it's kind of, it's sort of an interesting process, and it feels like immediate relief. And you'll feel this shift, and often there's like smile and humor that comes with it, and you'll know that it's a permanent shift. If it's somebody else's, you can you can further test it by saying, "Is this mine?" You can ask it, and if it lightens up, you can say, "Return to sender." Return to sender. You look at it internally and say, "Return to sender," and potentially return to sender with consciousness attached. That is a tool that I learned from a healing modality called Access Consciousness, which absolutely must be credited at this point. Does this belong to me? You ask the question. If there's a shift, if it lightens, if it moves, then you go, return to sender with consciousness attached, and then you'll find it. It'll lighten. So we can have our own self-generated stress, and we can have stress from other people. And how did I get on this? I have been a stressful person in my own life. Right, yes. And there are a lot of different modalities, such as Access Consciousness, many that are geared at getting rid of stress. But one that I return to often, periodically, very consistently over years, one which I consider to be the hardest hitting, just the absolute most trustworthy and most reliable and most powerful and just end tier, like at the very end of it, is the study of mindfulness and the study of enlightenment. And so what I'm going to offer now is just the new deepest lesson that has emerged for me from the study of enlightenment. And it's this. When you look around you, if you look at the present moment, look at everything that you can touch, see, taste, hear, everything that comes to you in your physical senses. All of that is what we would call the manifested realm. That which is manifested, that which is made into form, that which is apparent. Underneath the realm of the manifested, the realm of the apparent, is the realm of the unmanifested. Formless, timeless, birthless, deathless, ancient beyond ancient, and new and eternally fresh, eternally refreshing, like a fountainhead, like a well. The substance of the unmanifested realm is awakeness, is awareness. As I speak, don't, just as a guideline, don't grasp too much at this. Don't hold on to it. Don't conceptualize it too much. Just come along on this journey. Just follow along and feel how the words feel as I say them. So I'm describing, because what I'm describing is the aspect of you, the aspect of me that is underneath everything that I consider to be me, and underneath everything that you consider to be you. Yourself, myself, with everything stripped away, everything that is a quality about myself, or quality about yourself, such as my name, my history, my body, my identity, my plans, my goals, my grades, my work life, my bones, my muscle, my skin. All of these are qualities that I either have or possess or would use to describe myself, but none of them are me. They're just qualities about me. Does that make sense? So like, for example, my hand is not me. My body is not really me. It's just my body. My bones are not me. My personality isn't really me. My personality is just how I relate with the world. My personality changes, but I am still me, if you see what I'm saying. So what is me? Like, it's that which is underneath everything, underneath all of it. Underneath all of it, it's just an empty, still awareness, just an awareness, just that of me, which has the wherewithal to know, that light that's on, that knows that I'm here. And that is what you are. And so in that way, we are joined. We are the same. We are of the same substance. We are God. You're the left hand, and I'm the right hand. And they're puppets. Imagine puppets, and we're kind of interacting in a fashion as if we were different things. And that's part of God's play. That's part of how the universe works. That's the reason. The reason d'être. So it's so strange because there's almost nothing that's required of you and of me to drop buckets of stress besides realizing our true identity. The word identity was operative in my recent video. But in this case, we're more considering it from the perspective of the realm of the unmanifested. So one more time, just to recap, just to kind of put this all into view. There's the realm of the form, and there's the realm of the unmanifested, the unmade, and it's emptiness. It is emptiness. It is insubstantial, but it's very much here. It's very much here, very much right now. Very much here, very much right now. And I can only describe it as a subject, so I give it qualities such as, old and new and fresh and so forth. But it's not an object. It's the subject. It is I. So interesting. It is the I that is aware. So this can't be known on a conceptual level, but it is the substance of what you are. So there's no need to panic, and there's nothing that can be done about it. And really, it can't even be found because it's not lost. I'm saying this with a little bit of humor because I myself need to hear this as well. Or this is something that I have been needing to hear. And so the way to use this lesson practically when it comes to stress is just think about anything you're stressed about right now. Anything that makes you anxious. Think about any problem that you have right now. It doesn't matter how big or small. And just realize that this problem, this stress, resides within the world of form. There's this, and then there's that. There's, you, and then there's this other person, and then there's the circumstances, and there's time running out, and there's elements A, B, and C, and there's all these things to be taken care of, and then there's the threats. And what's interesting is that if it's a stressful problem, it doesn't matter what the problem is, but the reason why it's problematic is because in some way, it relates back to possible death. It means that I might die. So for example, if you're concerned about your job, it's like, well, what if I lose my job? I'd run out of money, and if I can't get a new job, then I'll run out and I won't be able to take care of myself, and then it'll be really bad, and either my life will be shit and I'll be stuck, or and then I will not have any opportunities, and there will be like hitting a dead end, which can feel death-like, or it can actually relate to the actual possibility of dying. What if my health runs out? What if I can't recover from X, Y, and Z condition? To be stressed, to be anxious, is to believe, is to is to forget about the realm of the unmanifested and instead to believe that the world of form is all there is. Because when we believe that all there is the world of form, then we believe that the body or the personality is all there is to me. And so therefore, if I die, then I'm dead. And there's this feeling of annihilation. And whenever we really believe that we're going to be annihilated, there's always anxiety, and it always leads to operating in life in operating through life with this MO of I have to, secure and make safe and fight for and make sure that I get there before other people get there, and it becomes a dog eat dog and competition based, and there's this unrest and there's this paranoia that underlies every single waking moment. And that leads to, and then when that paranoia is there, it manifests as stress or depression or just bad feelings. And our only recourse is to medicate ourselves or to participate in addictive things, such as, whatever, gambling, shopping, drugs, alcohol, sleeping, Netflix, anything that allows us to not feel like ourselves. Does that make sense? It's very simple. So all that's required is to look at your problem and look at all the elements of the problem. And know that everything is happening within the quiet, immortal, deathless, indifferent realm of the unmanifested. Everything that feels like it's threatened is threatened, if not now, later. And by threatened, I mean will die. Everything that exists, everything that is a form, is subject to creation and destruction, is subject to birth and death. And the death or the destruction element will happen either now, 3 days from now, or 1,000 years from now. But that which is most essential to you, that of you that is the most you, the most important quality, is so incredibly deathless because it's what everything is made of. So once the form is extinguished, another form comes. I hope that by saying this, there's a feeling of relief that's coming in with you. Because even if what I'm saying it can't quite be grasped, and I've been there, I've absolutely been there. I know what it's like to listen to a spiritual teaching and not quite be able to make heads or tails of it. But that's not required either. Because the part of you that's deeper than your mind, or deeper than the part of you that needs to make sense of things, of which the sense-making mechanism is just an aspect, the you remembers, right, I am God, I am the universe, I am the unmanifested realm. And therefore, I'm allowed to relax as things rise and fall in the world of form, as I observe and as I witness them. Practically speaking, of course, you still do what needs to be done. If there's something to do, if there's something to take care of, if there are health, if you have to, see a doctor, or if you need to make plans and execute the plans, of course. We're not talking about just giving up on everything. But there's a difference between having like any sort of stressful situation is a problem, is a dilemma with a lot of psychological baggage ascribed to it, with a sense of self ascribed to it, so that the problem is a matter of life and death, and it's a matter of stress, and it's a matter of fear. And what we're doing in this video is we're parsing it out and realizing that these are two different things. And if we deal with the stress, like the stress element is a belief that you are a form, that you are subject to extinction, which at your most fundamental sense you're not. And as you become aware of that and realize, okay, oh my God, all is well, all is well, all is well. Oh, everything's okay. Everything's okay because there's no other alternative. There's no other option besides okayness. There's just, because you are everything. If you are everything, then what are you not? You are the threat and the threatened and something else over here. And so when you realize this, as you are realizing this, and as you're deepening your realization of this, you also, like, you're left with just a situation. You're just left with something to figure out. And then everything becomes like, everything's dialed down. Everything just relaxes. Everything becomes more quiet. It's not a matter of stress. It's like looking at any other puzzle or any other game. What is there to do? Do I know what to do? Where can I figure out what to do? Okay, I'm going to do it. Am I able to do anything? If I can't do anything, well, may as well let it go. On to the next thing. See what I'm saying? Cool. So so that's it. So to summarize, we have the realm of the form, we have the realm of the unmanifested. We tune into the realm of the unmanifested and realize that it's always there, and it always observes and watches and is blissfully unaffected and untouched by what happens in the world of form. And you can look at any stressful problem and just realize that it's all surrounded by gorgeous unmanifested space. And all you have to do is just know that. Just know it. Just know that it exists. Just know that it exists within a stage, within the unmanifested. And when you do, you just remember, and then everything dies down. You can deal with the situation. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Would you kindly let me know if this was helpful for you, or if you have any other follow-up questions, because I am here for you. Lovely. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.